Warriors fans, what is going on? I am your host of Warriors Today by Chat Sports, Allie Barefoot, and I got two hot topics I'm going to break down on today's show because it's finally time we give credit where credit is due. We're going to be talking about Brandin Podziemski and how he could be a shining light for the Warriors this season. And then we're going to talk about in the second half of the show, a possible new wing coming to the Warriors maybe around the trade deadline. There's currently 3 teams looking at this possible wing, and the Warriors are one of them. So we'll break that down a little bit later. But first, I need you guys to go on ahead and wish Gary Payton II a very happy birthday. Allie, how do I wish him happy birthday? All you have to do is like this video. GP2 is currently out with a calf injury, so we're wishing him a happy birthday and a good recovery because the Dubs want to see GP2 back. So all you got to do is hit that thumbs up button for me while I tell you about Brandin Podziemski. He's stepping up in big ways. And the main thing here for this rookie is that he's not stepping down. He's going up against future Hall of Famers. He's playing for a championship contending ball club, and he's making them better in the long run. I'm a big fan of BP. You guys said it in the preseason. You're like, we want to see BP, even though Steve Kerr doesn't tend to play younger guys. He is going to start playing BP towards the end of the games because he's really shown him how smart he is. His basketball IQ is off the charts. Here's what stands out to me about this rookie, in the sense that he's cocky. He's so cocky, but in the best way. He is looking at these basketball players, like I said, future Hall of Famers, as just opponents. Nothing more than that. And that's what you need in somebody so young that was just drafted out of college. He could have been spending time in Santa Cruz in the G League, but Steph Curry said, nah, you're going to be up here with us in the Warriors uniform. He rebounds effectively on offense. Sometimes on plays, he's the only one crashing the board, getting those offensive rebounds. He had 8 last night versus the Clippers. 6 of those were defensive. 2 of those were offensive, but I've seen plenty more from him on the offensive side, and he's comfortable in late game situations. I want to break down this play that happened against the Clippers and really point out what I mean. If you see Brandin Podziemski right down there in the paint, well, you're also going to see that there is James Harden and Paul George as well. Harden tried to set a screen, and BP said, He steps back, and he knows what's happening. He switches defenders, goes to Paul George, follows him all the way to the top of the key, and ultimately forces the Clippers not to have a three-point shot, which they desperately needed to make it a close game, and they turned it over. This is what Kerr wants to see from Brandin Podziemski. He said he will be playing in late game scenarios because he blows up teams' plays. That was a veteran play from a rookie. Not to mention, he's actually stepping up and playing with 3 of the best players the Warriors franchise has ever seen, of Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry, and Chris Paul. I guess now that you got to add him in there, Brandin Podziemski is proving he should be on the court to Steve Kerr. Not only Steve Kerr, but Steph Curry, which I also think very highly of Steph Curry's plans for the roster. He said, I didn't even know he played 30 minutes. He's just out there flying around, taking on the challenge, and playing sound basketball on both ends. This is when Steph Curry was looking at the box score last night, and he was like, holy shit, Podziemski was out there 30 minutes on the floor with us? He was, and he's actually making an effort. Believe me, if he wasn't playing well, Steph Curry would know how long Podziemski's been on the floor. But ultimately, I do read all of you guys' comments, and I see that the Warriors are kind of dealing with a little bit of mismatch right now. They looked better last night, but a lot of you guys want to see a potential trade happening. Well, before that, you guys want to see Steve Kerr playing young before a trade happens. So what would help the Dubs is Kerr playing the young guys more. I get the point of having all that potential, and I don't get the point of having all that potential and barely using it. That's from Professor T5550, and I completely agree. Well, I want to ask the rest of you. Do you guys think Brandin Podziemski should be playing more or less than 17.2 minutes per game? That's what he's averaging right now. Maybe more than 17.5. We'll just round it up. But Steve Kerr said he's going to play later in the game, but I think if he's going to make these insane plays when it actually matters down to the wire, why not have him in there for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and see what happens? Because clearly he hasn't proved me wrong yet. Well, when I look at his stats, I see that Brandin Podziemski's got 13 points against the Clippers, 2 assists, like I said, 8 rebounds, 6 on defense, 2 on offense, and he's 50% from the field and from the three-point line. And like I said, that was in 30 minutes. He's really stepping up to Paul George, to Kawhi Leonard, to James Harden, to just absolute greats like there are on the Clippers and other teams. The Warriors have a tough schedule. They're in the Western Conference, for crying out loud. So when I see Podziemski play, I don't have that feeling in my gut of watching a rookie play. I saw this play last night that stood out to me. He was open in the corner, and he could have just taken one of those, quick shoot, 3-point shots, but he wasn't necessarily open. Pump fakes, drives, one of the most beautiful Euro steps I have seen this season over Russell Westbrook, down into the paint. James Harden can't even keep up with him, and he puts 2 on the board. He drives in the paint and can score on the interior, but he also spreads out the offense. The fact that they kicked that ball out all the way to the corner, and then Podziemski did something with it. He's proving he has court vision like none other, and that's why I think he should be playing a little bit more here. But overall, the Warriors like him, and that's what matters to me. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond, they're all going to retire, eventually. I don't know when. But I like that Podziemski is now kind of getting mentored by Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Even Klay saying he was the steal of the draft. He was picked 19th in the first round, and I completely agree with Dalton Johnson and Klay Thompson here. So show BP some love. Type 2 down in the comments. Let the rookie know that we're on his side. We want to see more from him. Even if he starts to mess up, then Steve Kerr knows where he needs more time and more confidence in those scenarios. But until he shows you that he messes up, keep playing him. Why not? You're 9-10. Mix it up a little bit, Kerr. But first, I want to talk to you guys about this new wing coming into the Bay Area, possibly. I'm going to break that down in just a few seconds, but first, I want to tell you guys about Factor Meals. It's our sponsor here on Warriors Today. This is a phenomenal food service, and I don't say that about many. I did actually get my Factor Meals box this week, and they have delicious food. So if you're asking me, what is Factor Meals? Well, it's fresh, never frozen food service that you can prepare for yourself in 2 minutes. All you have to do is heat it up and enjoy your food. Professional chefs are actually whipping this up and being shipped out to you that day. And what's even better is that all you have to do is pick between over 35 different meal options. I mean, look at what's on your screen right now. I'm already starving. And you guys know me, I'm a little bit of a picky eater, so the fact that I get to customize my own picks really makes it awesome. And I also got some smoothies from Factor Meals. They were amazing. If you guys want to join, all you have to do is go to factormeals.com/dubschat50. Use promo code dubschat50 to get 50% off your Factor's meal order. Once again, go to factormeals.com/dubschat50. Use promo code dubschat50 for 50% off. There have been some trade rumors circulating around the Golden State Warriors, and they're all leading back to John Konchar. This player is currently 27 years old, playing for the Memphis Grizzlies right now, and he's about $2.4 million, so the Warriors are like, why not look into him? The Warriors, the Celtics, and the Lakers are all keeping tags on seeing what John is doing for the Grizzlies this season to see possibly if he would be a trade deadline pickup. Well, I think he could possibly be useful. He's a useful bench asset. He's averaging 18 minutes per game for the Grizzlies. 27-year-old defensive-minded wing, nice 3-and-D type of player, and he can maximize stretching the floor and can score on the interior too. I'm not seeing any problems right now. When you look at his stats, he's not off to the best start this season, I would say, but neither are the Grizzlies, so I guess that leans right. Now, he's not going to be flashy. He's not going to pop off paper, and that's okay. When you've got players like Curry, Klay Thompson, and you've got Chris Paul now, you're going to have a lot of assist and scoring players. He is more of a defensive-minded player, which I think the Warriors can definitely utilize coming off the bench. You can see his points per game isn't crazy, but his rebounds are pretty nice, and he consistently takes shots along with assisting. So I'm not opposed to this, but let me present to you guys what the trade would be. The Warriors would receive John Konchar, and of course they would give up Corey Joseph and 2 second-round picks. 2025, which is protected by the Hawks, and 2026 second-round pick, which is not protected right now. Overall, I don't mind this trade because I don't think Corey Joseph has done enough for the Warriors for me to be like, oh, not Corey Joseph. So I think that he's still a bench player. It's bench player for bench player. But whether or not whoever fits better is where I would like to put this trade. So I'm going to go ahead and give this option to you guys. Would you accept this trade? Type A for trade, type D for decline. Overall, like I said, bench guy for bench guy and a couple of draft capital, which the Grizzlies could definitely benefit from. They're more of a younger team. So I think that this could definitely help the Warriors, but like they said, they're just keeping tabs on the guy right now. Type A for trade, type D for decline. Well, I think Konchar trade prevents a viable players from being traded. It's not JK, it's not Chris Paul, it's not Wiggins, it's Corey Joseph. That would be the possible trade that we have cooked up to see what salary works best. Of course, Steve Kerr and Mike Dunleavy can obviously trade whoever they want, but I think that if it's a bench player for a bench player, why not mix some things up? But overall, nothing is set in stone. This is just something that they're looking at, so I will keep you guys updated. While you guys are at it, go on ahead and click that like button for me if you want more Warriors dubs. They're 9-10 right now. They beat the Clippers last night. Let's keep this win streak alive. Hit that like button.